Welcome to IBM Planning Analytics Management Insights and Dashboarding. Today we're going to be talking with 24 Retail and looking at their Planning Analytics workspace to get some management insights and see their corporate planning dashboard. They have their corporate planning set up. We can see their corporate plan that has their dashboard with some financial information, some operating expense, break it down by the regions as well as maybe revenue region and their product sales. 24 Retail can cycle through the different regions here if they wanted to. They can set it up on a player or cycle through on their own. But we want to focus on the East region today. As they're looking at the East region dashboard, they notice that they have a shortfall in their revenue, as well as there's some increased expenses here on payroll. So these are two areas that they want to focus on. First, by going in and leveraging the embedded AI algorithmic forecasting capabilities in Planning Analytics Workspace to look at driving what is that predictive forecast for their volume. Then we'll dive into their operating expenses and we'll drill through to see, well, what is going on with payroll to help understand and explain that variance. When all is said and done, 24 Retail is going to create a new workspace tab, have a waterfall visualization of the changes driven by product to build up that new budget that was created here in our AI forecasting. So let's jump right over to the AI forecast capabilities. Here we see 24 Retail's demand planning. Again, they can go through their different regions and see what the numbers are, break it down by state within the region, country. But as we mentioned earlier, we're going to focus on the East region. On here, they can look at their products broken down to the SKU level if they needed to, or keep it rolled up by the hierarchies within their phone's product line. When invoking the AI algorithmic forecasting, they can choose any level to have that plan generated at, and it will always cascade that information down to the children of that parent. Just going to start with phones, and we're going to invoke that forecasting capability. Now, the system knows our first starting period here for the forecast is January 2025, ending it through December. And we have some advanced options in here. We can use all of the data in this view, or as you know from running other AI models, when you're looking at those algorithms, the training the model, the more data, the better. So you do have two different options on how much data you want to have. We don't want the outliers to be adjusted immediately. We want the system to tell us where the outliers are so that we can take a look at them. So let's take a look and see, what does the system think our new predicted baseline should look like for phones in 2025. Immediately we see, yep, there is an outlier in here. So let's see what the system has to say as to what is that outlier all about. So it tells us that Watson did discover one outlier, where it was, and we can even view more information about that outlier if we wanted to. As I look at the details of my plan, I don't need to understand and I don't understand data science, but Planning Analytics is giving me all the information I need. It's giving me a score of the data, the predictive accuracy. It's telling me all of the details here that are in my forecast, the parameters, as well as it ran 9 different algorithms and tells me which one has the model selected as the best fit. Immediately, we see now the numbers have been updated and the statistical information has been added to my cell right here. I can see I have a little comment that tells me what's going on and what was entered in here. So if I needed to go back at any point in time, I can see what the statistical information that was driving my new predictive baseline. Let's go take a look at our operating expenses to dive into what's driving that issue that we have with our payroll. So here is our payroll expense, and we can expand into this. So if we wanted to drill down on payroll and just see the largest portion of my payroll is salaries, I want to drill through to my detail and understand from my transaction system, well, what is making up this information. I can now drill through to see my actual details. I am now looking at the transactions that made up my detail, that 27526. Here are the entries that make it up. But now I've got the ability to explain my numbers by having that capability within planning analytics to drill back to my transaction detail, as well as drill back to my budget numbers and see how that number was built up, all on that same report. Now that I've got everything done, like I said, we were going to cap this off, and 24 Retail was going to build a new tab in their workbook here. So they're going to go into edit mode. We're going to select what template we want. Now we've got a clean slate. And so I'm going to go into my 24 Retail database. I know that I even have a revenue view. I can just take that, add that right here to our sheet. As you can see, it immediately is giving me some information. I want to see my 2025 budget by channel. But really, I want to swap out my channel with my product dimension. I'm just going to drag, drop, bingo, changed. We only focused on phones, so let's keep our phones here. I want to turn this piece of information into a waterfall chart. So these are all of the visualizations that are available for this type of data. I was able to work with 24 Retail, take a piece of information, bring it onto that blank palette, and go from a blank tab to having a data set and a visualization.